Good morning. I'm StampinDeDe, and this is Stampin' Thursday, and it is my favorite time of the month. It is the Mystery Make It Together, and I love this because it just presents so many different opportunities. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. I hope you've gathered your supplies, and there's a list in this description, and there's a list on my group page, and actually if you scroll down on this page, my Facebook page, there's a list there too. So I hope that you've gathered your supplies. If you haven't, you've got time to do that. I mean, it'll take a minute, but mainly because of the 10 strips of coordinating designer series paper. That may take you a minute or two, but I would love for you to make this card with me because it is so fun. All right, so if you're watching this live, please let me know. Let me know that you're watching. And if you're watching the replay, I love to hear from you. I love to hear that you've watched it and you've made the card, or you're going to make the card. And then I immediately put this on YouTube, of course, and I know that many of you watch it on YouTube. So please comment. Let me know. Let me know where you're from and that you're watching, and especially if you're making the card along with me. Let me know that you're doing that. Hit like, hit subscribe, share this video, put it on your Facebook page, or share it with somebody that you think would enjoy doing it. That helps our videos to be seen when you do that. So thank you so much. All right, we're going to get started here. Again, let me know if you're watching and if you're making this with us. So here are your supplies that you need to gather. You need to have a card base, a cardstock card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. You need to have a coordinating cardstock card front at 4 by 5 1/4. And then this is the part that might take a minute if you're trying to gather these up. You need to have 10 strips of coordinating designer series paper or cardstock, 3 3/4 by 1/2 inch each. And this is what makes this card so fun, and I'll show you some samples after we make our card together. But you can have the strips be of just 2 different patterns. You can do pattern cardstock. You could do it all cardstock. There's so many different ways and so many different looks that you can do with this. But 10 strips. You need a cardstock circle or square that's 2 to 3 inches in size. You need an image for the front and a sentiment stamp that will fit in the circle or the square. All right, that's it. That's what you need. So I hope you've got it. I hope you're going to make the card along with me. Hi, Kay. Are you making the card? Have you got your stuff ready? I hope so. You know, well, all right. So I'm going to stick this right up here. And we're going to start this. So the first thing you need is a piece of cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Yes, yay, I am so glad. All right, and so we're going to take our cardstock. I chose Cajun Craze, a color I don't use that often. But you'll see why in a minute. All right, so you've got that burnished. And then you need your card another piece of cardstock, and it is 4 by 5 1/4. But I'm not going to put it on yet because we're going to build our card on this. So I'll just set my base aside. And now you need your 10 pieces of designer series paper or cardstock. And I actually have a mixture. I used the Timeless Plaid set. And you'll see here in a minute why I chose the Cajun Craze. So I'm going to lay these out here. I also cut a couple of pieces of cardstock. I used pecan pie and I used a piece of Cajun Craze. All right, we've got these laid out. All right, so now I need to figure out how I want to put them on here. And I think I want to start, and I think I'll do it here so that I don't have to move them again. And maybe this, and I may change my mind as we go. And I think I'll go to the blue. And maybe the pecan pie, and then maybe the Lost Lagoon. And then we're going to come down to, maybe the green. And then the green and the, more of a Calypso coral. And then I think I'll go, there. All right, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, I'm looking at it to see if there's anything I want to change. I think this is the way I want to do it. So have you got yours laid out? Ready to go? You may have already done that. But I'll give you a minute to get it laid out so that we can begin putting these on. My only hesitation with this color set was the green, but I did want to introduce some green. So that's the way I did it. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to get my green glue, which I have in this little bottle, and hopefully it'll get going. And I'm going to start putting these on. And we're going to put these on in a random fashion. They are not going to be even. Leave a little bit of room at the top, though. Just a little bit. About, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. And then this piece can go anywhere because you're just going to put them in a random fashion. Now, for some of us, that's probably hard. All right, this one I'm going to stick over here, and you want to butt them up against each other. Yeah, we're going to kind of have a zigzag pattern here. However you want to do it. It does not matter. It really does not. I'm going to put that one right up against the edge. Okay. And I think this will be just a little bit off. Now for that green. The random green. that one's going to go up against that edge. Let's see, we're just building this card front. Okay. Put them up against each other. We're almost finished. How's it going? Are you staying up? Whoa, that came out. I think I'm going to overlap that one just a little bit so I have some pebbled path at the bottom. That one came out too close. Okay, we're going to go right here. And I'm going to overlap it just a little bit. Because I want a little bit of the pebbled path showing at the bottom. Let's see. Make sure I'm getting this on okay. All right, there we go. All right, I'm going to give you a minute to finish yours. And you know, once you get it on, it doesn't matter how you put it. It really doesn't matter. It's going to give you a different look every way you do it. All right, I'm giving you just a minute to get finished here. I hope you're making it with me. It's always so fun to have you doing that, to have you making it with me. All right, and the next thing we're going to do is take the circle or the square, and I cut this one out of Calypso Coral with the Spotlight on Nature die. And before I put it on the card front, I said an image for the front. And on this one, I used several. I did several images. I used my Elements of Text stamp and stamped it on white with Cajun Craze and with Calypso Coral. And then die cut the butterflies. And I do have a sentiment, which is Hope You're Feeling Better Soon. I needed a Get Well card. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment first, way up at the top, so that I know where to put my images. So I'm going to do it with, I think I'm going to do it with Pebbled Path. Let's see if it gets dark enough. Oh, I think it will. But I'm almost worried that I got too much ink around the edges. I don't want that to come off on my card. So let me get some of that ink off around the edge. All right, I'm going to give it another very gentle tap. All right. And right at the top, hope you're feeling better soon. There we go. Great. Clean off my stamp. Put my pebbled pad. Well, I'm going to keep that out a minute because I couldn't decide if I wanted to, let me see, if I wanted to distress a little bit around the edge of my butterfly. Let me try one. Let me get a piece of, let me try one of the smaller ones. See what I think about that. So I wasn't sure. I think I might do that though. Just a little bit. You know, I think I will. It doesn't even show up that much, but it defines it just enough and gives it that little bit of a distressed look. And I love distressed. So I'm definitely going to use the big butterfly. And I want to use one of the Lost Lagoon butterflies. So I used the round text and that elements of text. The round one is the biggest one. Let's see. I don't have it out here. Let me see if I have it right here. Here it is. So this is the biggest one. So I used that, and then I was able to cut my butterfly, die cut it out of that. All right, now I need to decide. I'm going to take it off of here, though. I need to decide how I want to. That's going to have to go that way so that the, or let's see, I could do that, then both would show. I want my sentiment to show. I like that. I think that'll work. So I'm going to put the, let me close up. Well, I'm going to leave it in case I decide to do something else. Let me get my dimensionals, and I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. So you need to, whatever image you've got, go ahead and stamp your sentiment. And then position your image on. And this one, I just need a mini dimensional right in the middle. Right in the middle of it. Okay. All right, I want to, this one I'm working around the sentiment. So I'm going to put it right there. And then this one. Position underneath. And it is going to go right there. I've got it. I've got 3 others, but I really don't. I think that's all I need. All right, I'm going to move those aside. Close this up. Put that aside. Now, so do you have your image positioned on your circle? Got that ready to go. Hope you're feeling better soon. All right, and then I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. I know we've got double dimensionals, but you know what? I just thought this card needed it. So, here we go. I've got 3. That should be enough. All right. Get this straight. Get this straight. And wherever you want it, you can put it anywhere. I'm going to put it right down here. Make sure it's straight. And get it down. There we go with that. And then I'm going to adhere this to my card base. Okay. Got my card base. Got it on there. So far, so good. Now, I couldn't decide what I might want to use. I did make a bow out of the pebbled path. I didn't know if maybe a bow would work on there. I think it needs to be off of the circle so it doesn't get too high. That might work. I've also got this Natural Tones linen thread. But I think I like the pebbled path bow. I've also got regular linen thread, which would work. But I still think I like this pebbled path bow. But I need my scissors. There they are. And I'm going to bring it way up. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it right there. And I have these brushed brass butterflies. I could do those. Or either of these. This is faux glass dots, and this is neutrals adhesive backed. I don't think I'm going to put any more texture on it, or dimension. I don't know. I think I need to use these. And I could use the gold or the copper or the brown. I don't think the brown goes with the pebbled path. So I guess I'll go with the copper. So let me get my glue dot. And get this down. Put it right there off the edge of our circle. Right there. And looks like I need to cut this just a little bit more. There we go. Yeah. All right, and then I'll take these out. can't decide. I like the brown, and I guess if I put them up here, they'd be far enough away. I think I'm going to go with the brown. It's not the one I thought I would go with, but I think I will. And I'm going to put them up in this corner. So I'll put one right up here. One here. And one right there. All right. Now we kind of have it balanced. You know, I want everything balanced, right? I think I'm done. Now, I didn't do the inside, and I will do that. And I probably would use one of these butterflies, one of these extra butterflies that I cut. I'll probably use that for the inside. But I think that's finished. What about you? Do you have yours finished? Let's see. Oh, and my husband is watching from a Whataburger, no less. All right. So, Kay, are you up with me? Do you have your card done? That's a quick card. Once you get the strips cut, it's a quick card. It goes together quickly. All right, good. All right, let me show you some other samples. You know, I could, real quick, I could get me a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of card, and I would use very vanilla, except that these are white. So, and I'm going to put a couple of butterflies on here. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a couple of butterflies on the bottom. Put it right there. And right here. Right there. And then put this in. Then I'll have that part done. I won't have to come back and do that. You don't have to do that right now. You can take your time and figure out what you want to do. But that way I'll have this card ready to go. Ready to send. All right. There we go. Now let me show you some other samples. This one is done with a designer series paper that is no longer available, but it was the Serene Love, and I bought a couple of packages of it because I just love it. I love the Night of Navy and the Lost Lagoon together, and I used my Terrific Toadstool set and did it with that. All right, let me get down here. All right, so there's that one. I don't know, so for some reason my video is behind. All right. Then this one I did with the Wildflower Birthday. And the Wildflower Birthday has the cutouts that are already cut out for you. These I stamped and die cut or fussy cut. These I stamped and die cut. But this has it already done for you. And I love that. And I probably will come back and put some gold twine on this. I didn't do that, but I should have. And I used the square on this one, the stylish shaped square. So just another way that you can do it. This one, I used the Unbounded Love Designer Series paper, and I just fussy cut the image from the Designer Series paper. It was already colored and everything, and used the stylish shapes circled. So that one was made easy. I believe this is Peach Pie, and then I used the Pretty in Pink. All right. So you can see a variety of ways to do it, and you can make it more masculine or more feminine. So I hope you will make some more of these. I hope you enjoyed it. It's an easy one to do, and what a great way to use up some of our Designer Series paper. All right. I'm trying to get back down so I can see my comments if I have any. All right, here we go. Oops, back down this way. All right, I am going to put an album on my group page, StampinDeDe's Doings and Designs. And I would love it if you would take a picture of the card you've made and just add it to the album. I would love that. It'll be April 10th, Mystery Make It Together. That'll be the album. So you just go to Media and click on the album, and then it says Add Photo. And if you need to transfer your photo, well, you can, a lot of you do it from your phone. I don't. So I have to transfer my photo to my computer. From my phone, which is no big deal. I just do it through Messenger. But just add it to the album. I'd love to see what you've done. Love to see that. So even if you're on YouTube and you have access to Facebook, go to my StampinDeDe's Doings and Designs, my Facebook group page, and add your photo. I'd love to see it. All right, that is it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope I've encouraged you to use up some of your Designer Series paper. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this, add it, share it to your Facebook page so others can see it too. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.